Hello, and in today's videos, I wanted to address the concepts of fundamental understanding of love and what love has come to mean to us in our everyday life, and then the extensions of everything that we classify as love that are not potentially meeting the right circumstances of your life. And so, to begin with, I would like to address the concept of love. The true concept of love actually exists from the inner core of your being. So to love something or to love someone or to love yourself is actually at the essence of who you are. So the concepts of love, as they are not needed to be taught, and they're not needed to be understood or imagined or reimagined, because at the essence, they already exist within you. So I think that is a step one that is extremely important. Is we are we are not in the process of learning anything new. We're not in the process of adapting ourselves to any new techniques. The only thing we're doing is simply shaving off the layers that we have put on top of ourselves in order to cloud love and define love as something other than what it actually is. And so, from my standpoint, I wanted to address, and this is something that I have a problem with on my three-dimensional side, is all the books and all the definitions of how to love and how not to love, of the love languages, and everything that relates to the concept of defining something, right? Anything that takes a concept such as love and then puts a definition on it within itself is false, right? It is a false narrative that takes a concept that is already not love and then starts defining it even further, right? And so we marry these definitions, and then when we evaluate ourselves in the center of our being, love is already there. Love is already present. The essence of us is love. But when we step out of that center and start looking at things from other perspectives, the perspectives I will discuss later, is then all of a sudden we don't see love. We don't feel love. We don't feel like we're loved. We don't feel like I love myself. I don't feel like others are loving me the right way. And so hence the industry, and hence thousands and thousands of therapy sessions and books and seminars and and workshops and teaching how to love, which to an extent I would say, yes, if you're completely lost, someone could be there to say, let's delayer this. Let's take these layers off. And so I do see benefit in that in this video of not teaching what love is, but possibly just teaching what love isn't. And that's the key, is we have to shave off the layers. And each one of us has a personal layer. So I want to emphasize that as well, as there's nothing within us that has that definition stretching out globally, right? Or even across a group of any finite beings. The definition of love is so precise and so universally unique to you as a human being, each individual human being, that it needs to be discovered and interpreted on your own, right? So the reason why the seminar or the workshop would not be able to teach you love is because love is something that is felt from within, and it's not something that is taught, right? Um, at the same time, we can as a whole, as a global community, right, or as a universal consciousness, narrow in on the love that is one, right? So even though we have our own personal interpretations of love from our three-dimensional selves, we also exist at the point of oneness within the love that unites us all, right? So two very important concepts: discovering your own love and what love means to you, and then at the same time, through that discovery, the road leads to understanding that love is oneness, and love does unite us, and we are one within, even in our own interpretations of love. So how do you discover love, right? How do you go about centering your own being into your own understanding of what love is to you, right? And the best way I would suggest, um, to center in order to find that answer, would be to actually go within and stop searching for love outside of concepts of you, right? We spend a lot of time, uh, and I'm recording this during the holiday season, so the first thing that comes to my mind is the gift giving, right? We spend a lot of time thinking that the type of gifts that we get, or what gifts that we get, are in fact somehow related to how much someone does or does not love us, right? And whether or not they can read our mind and give us the best gift in the world, right? I, let's be honest, that has nothing to do with love, right? Your egotistic need for someone to read your mind, and then give you the most perfect gift in the world, is as far away from love as you can get, right? So that is your ego in charge. That is your desire, your three-dimensional material self that is at the core, that is convoluting the gift with, you know, with love, right? Your ego self is extending this demand for something material as dot dot dot, this equates to love, right? Well, so to shut off that light, it has nothing to do with love, right? Material possessions, in a way, um now once you reach enlightenment, right, we can say that material possessions carry no weight, but that does not mean that the material possessions within themselves have ever been love, right? So there's kind of a dualistic aspect there. So yes, materialism, within itself, is a step towards realization of self, realization of the ego, of why we're craving certain things. Why do we need someone to love us a certain way, or give us a certain gift, right? Or cook meals for us, or spend time on the couch with us, right? And the essence is, that is our egotistic way of looking at love. So the what is the book? Five Languages of Love, I think, is the book out there that talks about all of these things where you can love someone, right? There, so I've always found this extremely entertaining, that the mere nature of someone needing to read a book about how to better love someone, or how to love someone, um, is the failure of love itself, right? Is a failure of your recognition that you are sitting within yourself, in your ego, and then are searching for answers from the egotistical standpoint. All right. So it is entertaining to me, but also enduring, and I can love that in the most sincere way, because that is the essence of our human journey, right? The essence of ourselves as a human being is to go through these trials and turmoils, and read these silly books and attend these silly workshops, all at the end, to zero in on the fact that all of this external search really led us nowhere, other than understanding that, hey, maybe there's something on the inside of me that is not being fulfilled, that these external searches are actually trying to address, right? And so once we start delayering, what is it that inside of us, or inside of our being, that is not able to express true love from the core of ourselves, then we can start to actually touch on the real concepts of love. And so, uh, you know, just like I said, I will not be teaching love, because there's nothing to teach. The only thing that can suggest, and the only thing that I can offer, is to get to the point of pure love, and to get to the point of pure consciousness, and that extravagant energy within, that contains everything that is love, without judgment, without materialism, without lowering of self, or lowering others, is to simply delayer all of it, just remove all the layers of everything that is not love. And that is ego, that is materialism, that is judgment, that is failure to control our thoughts, and then dive into concepts of everything but love, right? And so, if you can imagine a large funnel, right? um, that that is our life, right? Or that is the filter, right? And so within this funnel, we would have all these layers that are filters of our materialism, that are filters of our ego, that are filters of our uh, pain, that are filters of our substitutes for all of the things and all of the moments in life where we did not feel loved, where we did not feel like we belong, where we did not feel like we were getting something. And then we classified those as, oh, I felt bad because, and then, you associate that with love, right? And so all of these association judgments and mental filters that we associate within this funnel are layers, right? The layers that you can start to remove one by one, right? And I love it because it actually does go from, the largest and most solid layer at the top, and then kind of narrows down into this funnel, right? Where the layers get tighter and tighter and tighter, but at the same time get smaller and smaller and smaller. And I would almost say easier and easier to identify and remove once you get into kind of the narrowing of this funnel. And then the funnel literally just stops at the concept, right? All of the delayering leads you to complete removal and dissociation of self from everything that is actually not love, in order for you to concentrate on the center of self, that is love. And so, um, again, how, or if it hasn't come through yet, start looking at the concepts of yourself that you define as love, and truly feel and truly understand, why do you classify them as love, right? Why does the need for a gift of specific kind uh, equates to love, right? Why does someone, spending time with you, and showing you affection classify as love? Why would we go out of our way to do something for someone else, in order to see their response back, and then take that response and classify that as showcase of love back to us, right? So, why is that love, right? And after the layers are removed, and after you're able to define this for yourself, I wanted to showcase, or to, I guess, extrapolate on it, what I found at the core for myself, right? What I found the core for my being of what is actually love. And so the delayering, right? The removal of materialism, and I'm far away from my three-dimensional self, is far away from removing of materialism and complete delayering, right? But you can see the light, right? You can see the light within this narrowing of what love is, right? And love is just pure consciousness of recognition that no matter what somebody does or does not do, and no matter what somebody has to offer you or does not have to offer you, in fact, no matter what someone might do that you would classify as not love, would actually be, recognition of another, and then love within that. So, that is a harder concept to swallow from the three-dimensional standpoint, because I'm basically saying that if someone's act, might perceive itself as unloving to you under your three-dimensional funnel self, right? At the core of this recognition, you would see every act, and every, extrapolation or pulsation of human nature as love, right? And so, the judgment, right, and the condemnation, and, the abolition of ourselves, as humans, would stop, right, if we found ourselves within that center, right? If we found ourselves that any act, whatever it might be, is in fact love, right? Is in fact a true representation of love, because it is either an act of conscious love, right, where you are sitting in the moment and you're feeding the energies of love out of it, right? or it's the conscious effort of a path to love, right? And so within this time, I think, as we entering into an area, close to winter solstice, and then to, Christmas time, and all the holiday seasons are kind of tied to this understanding of gratitude and thanksgiving and communications of love. I do think it is important to put a filter of awareness, right? So take the filters, and convert them into a filter of awareness, where you'll be able to truly discern of what is coming your way, and does it need to be judged in any way? Does it need to be evaluated against a filter of something, to the where then you can classify that as love or not, right? So if you step back, why not try to step back in every moment, and simply try to classify every act forward, as an act of love, right? As an act of, at this moment, this being is doing their best, and this is their love, right? This is their love towards me, and then the only thing I can offer back is the love that I have inside. And so the love that you would offer back is the true love that you feel within you, right? Not offering back anything from this funnel, anything from this, convoluted concepts of love, but actually offer love from your core, right? um I guess from the biblical standpoint, I don't know, actually, is it biblical? I don't know if it's biblical or not, but from from the standpoint of an enlightened self, right, you would see this as um you would not see this as an eye for an eye, right? That concept of like, oh, they do this to me and that hurts and that is not love, and then therefore I would offer them back, is something equivalent thereof, right? But possibly taking the higher road, right? Taking a higher concept, of the existence, where if somebody else is operating within this filter, within this matrix of self, where love is somehow convoluted by definitions or desires, then what you could still offer back to them is the true concept of love, that does not, have definition, does not hold desires, and simply offers love regardless, of what you might or might not be receiving at the moment. So happy living, and if you're hearing this during the holiday season, then merry holidays.